My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Hearthstone Arena. We have 155 gold, which just so happens to be just a little bit above the amount of gold we need to go into Arena, so why don't we? I want to. I'm down for some Arena gameplay. I don't even need to record another Arena episode for the next week or two. I have them backlogged for quite some time, but I can't resist the allure of the Arena. Warrior, Priest, Mage. We've played a Priest recently, that would be Powerful Words. A Mage recently as Blood Mage, I think. And before that, the Art of Warrior or Swagneros were both Warrior runs. But I think the Mage is the strongest out of these three classes that I've been offered. I'm so tempted to take the Pyroblast. I really am. It's a really good game finisher, but the problem is, it's only a really good game finisher in a situation where you had board control, you've done 20 damage, and now they've got the game, and you need to take it back from them. Big Game Hunter is a really good swing card, so, like, Ironbark Protector, no. Sorry about that one. And Blood Knight can be a really good early drop if I get some Divine Shields, or if they have Divine Shields. Unfortunately, I can only rely on them having Divine Shields if they're a Paladin, and I can only rely on having a lot of Divine Shields myself if I were a Paladin. So I think the most solid of these options is the Big Game Hunter. Magma Rager and Southsea Deckhand are horrible, so I'll take Arcane Intellect to draw some cards. Dalaran Mage and Frostwolf Grunt are pretty bad as well, but Cone of Cold isn't amazing either. It delays, and I don't really need delay. If I had taken the Pyroblast, delay might have been an option. I'll still take it, because I don't want my early drops to be, you know, horrible. Stormpike Commando, enter the battlefield 2 damage. I'll take War Golem, just because I have no heavy, and heavy is really good. Water Elemental, I don't really need to explain that. Water Elemental is just amazing. The problem with Abusive Sergeant as an early drop is that, as an early drop, it dies to 3 different heroes. It dies to the Rogue with a Knife, it dies to the Mage with a Pyroblast, and it dies to the Druid with the Shapeshift. Bloodsail Razor is not exactly going to give me, you know, any value out of its Battlecry, because I don't have weapons in this deck, and Mirror Image is for delay. Unfortunately, I will be taking the Bloodsail Raider. Ancient Brewmaster is the most solid out of those. It looks like it's offering me, basically, what used to be the meta in Mage, which was you'd put down Shield Bearers, and you'd put down Mirror Images, and you'd Cone of Cold and Frost Nova them. It's offered me all of those things so far, and then you'd get to a late enough turn and you just Pyroblast them in the face and win. Unfortunately, that's not really a viable strategy. Anymore, at least, ever since Cone of Cold was increased by 1 mana, Frost Nova was increased by 1 mana, and I think Blizzard was also increased by 1 mana. But also, Pyroblast was increased by 2 mana. Ethereal Arcanist, I'm not going to be picking up secrets, it's not going to help me. I don't want my opponent to draw cards. Mind Control Tech can be a really good swing. Oh man, I'm not getting any really good earlies. I may have to take the Murloc Tidehunter as my early. It's such a soft early, though. I'll take Mogashan, just because I'm relying on getting better early drops. Speaking of better early drops, Worgen Infiltrator, amazing. Fireball, very solid card. Another Worgen Infiltrator, just because I'm not interested in the another 2-3. So, a 3-2, awesome, really solid. Card draw, yeah, Acolyte of Pen can be some card draw for me. Why not? It's definitely not the Murloc Tidecaller. It could be the Imp Master or the Injured Blade Master. They're both Masters, so that's something important to keep in mind. I'll take the Imp Master just because it helps with board population rather than... It goes wide rather than high, is what I'm saying here. Spiteful Smith, even though I'm not going to get anything out of the weapon in Rage from that, I will be getting 4-6 for 5, which is pretty decent. Magma Rager is horrible, Fen Creeper is not horrible, but it's definitely not as good as a Flame Strike. Sunwalker Azure Drake. Card draw and spell damage, so I've got a Cone of Cold, and a Fireball, and a Flame Strike. That's all my spell damage. Sunwalker is really good for stopping them. But I think the card draw is more important to me, honestly. I'll take a Mirror Entity. Just because I don't like the other. Okay, Gnomish Inventor can be really good, but I don't have strong late game, so I'd like to make some of my early game, including the Imps that the Imp Master is going to make, into late game using my Stormwind Champion here. There we go. Good option to get the Gnomish Inventor there to draw a card. Neither of these two are good, so Mirror Entity, I suppose. Card draw out of the Cult Master. I don't have any early plays, that's my problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 early plays. So I do have to go with the Reaver Crocolisk, unfortunately. Mana Worm, definitely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more early play, so we'll take the Bluegill Warrior. Okay, so now I want to focus on the high end. Spiteful Smith, yes. Water Elemental is better than the Spiteful Smith, so I'll take that, even though I'm trying to focus on the high end. Oh, okay, so this is really good. Sunwalker, to get a little bit of high end. We are very weak on the 6s, but we can come back. We can come back on the 7s with a Flame Strike to clear the board and Stormwind Champion to kind of buff up all of the other things we're going to be doing. And just a really solid War Golem. We don't have any Polymorphs, which is going to be a huge problem. We don't have any Silencers either. A lot of the importance in this deck is going to be waiting for a turn where I think they're going to drop a really big minion, and where I think they can't play around it, and playing a Mirror Entity to take their big minion for my own. All in all, it's an alright deck. I wouldn't say it's solid. I'm going to predict 5 or 4 wins. 5 or 4. Just because I have really bad early plays in the 2-3s, I'll say 4. That's not to say it's a weak deck, that's just to say that I don't have any confidence in it.
Jaina versus
Malfurion Stormrage. Okay, so Malfurion is really good for me to be playing the Worgen Infiltrator against, because he can't deal with it until it's out of stealth, and by the time it's out of stealth, I've only put it out of stealth so that it can take care of something. So I need to draw a 2-drop or a 3-drop to make this curve out well. Because ideally, what I want is... Don't play a 2-3. Don't play a 2-3. What I want... Oh, good. Yeah, I'll be killing that with the Worgen Infiltrator. Oh, man. I might have to play the Big Game Hunter here just to keep a curve. Oh, but the problem is, coining out the Big Game Hunter means that I can't do anything the turn after. So it doesn't actually help me. That's pretty bad. What I wanted was a 1 and a 2, so that I could, on turn 3, coin out a 4, and then play a 4 after it. At the very least, this is pretty fine for me. I'll coin out a 4, and that 4 has a lot of health, and it can kill the Tauren Warrior. So it's unlikely that with 4 mana, he can kill the Water Elemental without losing his Tauren Warrior. I think basically Naturalize is the only thing that does it for him. So basically that play seized the tempo for me. Yep. So I knew he could do that, but now he still has to trade his Tauren Warrior for it. And hey, if he wants to swipe that target, fine by me. Mogashan Warden could go down, but I'd rather draw the card first and have the extra damage on the field. Because the Mogashan I want to play when there's something threatening me and I can deal with it. Oh, damn! That's pretty bad for me.
Squire, attend me. Ready, sir.
Oh well. Good thing is if he uses the Stampeding Kodo plus his Shapeshift in order to kill the Silverhand Knight, I can kill it with my Fire Blast. If he uses Stampeding Kodo to kill the Squire, I can kill it with the Silverhand Knight. 3 and then your hero power, or 1? 3? Oh! Okay. If you want to waste your wrath, that's finally fine by me. Worgen Infiltrator plus Fire Blast can take out your Stampeding Kodo. Unless you have another Wrath, and you'd like to use that on the Squire. So I don't want to play Mirror Entity because he'll be able to test what secret it is. But at the same time, I have 2 of them, and otherwise I'd just be passing the turn.
Pass me that arc-light spanner.
That's a pretty good card for him to have played and trigger that with.
Pass me that arc-light spanner.
At the very least, I can kill his Stampeding Kodo with just the Gnomish Inventor and the Fire Blast, so I don't lose my Worgen Infiltrator off the back of that. Wrath for 1 and then kill it. That's a Wrath for 1. Oh well. 7 mana next turn. That's probably the Azure Drake plus the Fire Blast. Yep, definitely. And I'll keep my Worgen Infiltrator in stealth because he is there to remove something, not to do damage. If it was just 1 mana for 2 damage and a card, I don't like that at all. No value there.
I am not a morning person.
I can taste the mana.
Oh. What? You did it for Panther? Okay. This is gonna be really important for me. I kill that, and then Mind Control Tech. That's alright. It's not horrible for me. And then I can draw cards.
First kill.
And clear 2 of your things. So that's the really important thing about the Mind Control Tech. You can make huge swings with it. Huge tempo swings. And look, I have a lot of health. I have 3 minions on the field. Sorry, mispronounced. I have 2 minions on the field. And I also have 7 cards in hand. Versus his 1 minion on the field and 2 cards in hand. Now what he's very likely to do here, if I were him, is to use the Gnomish Inventor to kill the Mind Control Tech. He could also kill the Mana Addict if he preferred. Another swipe. Well. This doesn't survive this turn unless I Mogashan Warden. And you know what I'm gonna do it. So Mogashan Warden and Acolyte of Pain. The reason I've done that is because I'd really like to get an extra 2 damage in when I cast the spell, basically. I only have a Fireball, Flame Strike, Cone of Cold. That's it. Those are the only 3 spells I have. Oh, and 1 more Mirror Entity. Those are all of the spells I have left in my deck. Well, that, my friend, is getting big game hunted.
Well played.
I've got the beast in my sight.
So I'm gonna go with a no on the whole front of that. Mana Worm allows me to... Then I'll draw a card. That was really more helpful for me than it was anything else. Kill one of them. Whew, what a rush. That was way more helpful for me than it was actually detrimental to me, him playing Onyxia there. It gave me a chance to put down the big game hunter, which I've been holding on to this whole time.
Thank you.
And gave me a card, allowed me to use the... you saw the turn, you know what it did for me. Put the really big thing down. What would I not want to overextend against?
Gotcha.
Is there anything that he can do now with those 3 cards that wins him the game? What would I not want to overextend against? Well, regardless of what I do, I don't want to put down more than lethal. Naturalize. Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, that's really good. It would have been hilarious if off the back of that, he played a Ironbark Protector or something. Because I've got the Ancient Brewmaster to bounce it back. I was about to say, I don't want to fill the board so that if I do get the Stormwind Champion, I still have the option to play it.
Gotcha.
And I can't win this turn, so I will draw a card.
Job's done.
Okay. And that'll be well played. I'm pretty certain that's well played, right? I'm like 99% sure there's nothing you can do. Deathwing would suck, but
To Northrend.
I mean, Deathwing always sucks, right? Two people in recent arenas have top decked Deathwing against me, and it's been absurd.
Well played.
Ah, Innovate, so it was a dead card. Okay.
I concede.
I was gonna kill him with the Mana Addict just because it was his own card, and it was exact damage. I guess instead of that, we'll be moving on to our second game. Our second game after 1-0. Now, don't fool yourself into thinking that that's going to be a typical game. We had optimal uses for all of the things that we basically wanted to use, and then on top of that, we also had a Worgen Infiltrator in our opening hand. Even though we didn't have a good opening hand, we had a Worgen Infiltrator which managed to counter a 3-2. Dude, that guy played like 3 Power of the Wilds, I think? And picked 1 Naturalize. I always steer clear of Naturalize, but Naturalize can open up the avenue for you to get your lethal in.
You asked.
That's kind of a curve. But both of those are situational, and I have enough 3s that I feel comfortable throwing them back. I'd prefer the Imp Master. I'm not going to complain about that. So the only Shaman card that can target... The only early Shaman card that can target ones of mine in stealth would be 1 mana, Forked Lightning, Overload 2. So that's an option.
Hello.
Or 3 mana, Lightning Storm, Overload 2. At the very least, this could be taking out totems as well. Ooh. Such value! Dead totem? Be the 1-1, be the 1-1. The problem with that is that the Worgen Infiltrator hitting that reveals it and allows it to get killed by something of his. But at the same time, if he has to kill it with something on turn 3, he's very likely only to totem after that. So there's the Forked Lightning. That was going to happen regardless of what I played if I had the Bloodstar Raider out. But the important thing about him having done that is that he's overloaded for 2, so he can only totem or play a 2-drop next turn, and if he plays a 2-drop, I'm gonna kill it! So I'm not getting value, but I have huge tempo. Look at my tempo. This is how big my tempo is. Okay. And do not reveal the Worgen Infiltrator. One cool thing about having the Acolyte of Pain out now is that if he has a Lightning Storm and wants to use that, he's going to trigger the Acolyte of Pain and give himself 2 Overload on top of that. And he can't be certain that the Acolyte of Pain doesn't draw a card for me. Ooh, a Hex on that target? I have a Sunwalker that I can put out next turn. Are you sure that that was the good Hex target? In fact, it is the turn to put out the Sunwalker.
Is my shield.
Die, lad.
Okay, I'll trust you. The one thing I should have considered is it's possible he used Hex so willingly because he has another Hex.
Squire, attend me.
Although it doesn't look like it. Okay. So how do I most reliably clear this board? I can waste my Divine Shield in order to kill that. That seems worth, to be honest to me.
Shall prevail.
That, to be honest to me, to be honest to you, that seems worth. I can keep that in stealth, but then I'm much more vulnerable to wide board clear. If I attack with this one instead, I'll be doing more damage per turn. Do I need to rush him down? Maybe, actually.
I wonder.
So,
Don't mess with Tusk.
that goes out, that goes to the face. I'll kill that with my stealth horn,
Do that.
and then attack to the face. Of course, it didn't matter which I was going to attack the actual minion with, as long as it decided for me which I was going to attack to the face with. And if, I leave my non-stealth one there, then I know which I'm going to attack to the face with. Of course, that may be the wrong play,
With Tusk.
and in fact it's
Mind if I roll?
very possibly the wrong play. Ooh, that's an overextension against Flame Strike, but it's not a good Flame Strike target. That's the problem. It's a good Cone of Cold target, though.
Suck steel, swine. Justice shall prevail.
So hopefully, having played a Cone of Cold there rather than a Flame Strike, which he was probably expecting, I've convinced him successfully that I do not have Flame Strike. Okay, you can remove a 2-1 with Earthshock, that's fine by me. Big Game Hunter! Woohoo! Oh, I love this card.
Beast in my sight.
Suck steel. Justice shall prevail.
We are getting very close to lethal. Fireball, remember, is 6 damage for our lethal. It's beginning to look a lot like lethal. Totems everywhere. Powerful. Killed the boar.
Ready to ride.
Join or die.
Okay, draw a card. I still have lethal next turn. Yeah.
Well played.
Ooh, I can do it with the Stormpike Commando. I had lethal on the board and he got scared of that, unfortunately, so I didn't manage to get out the fireball. Regardless, that's our second win. And 0 losses so far. Paladin or Warrior victory. So if you'll excuse me for just one moment, I'll be re-rolling that. The meek shall inherit. I'm not gonna get that. I don't like to play small cards. I mean, I have Mana Worm, the two Worgens, Infiltrator, Worgen Infiltrator. God, I'm having a lot of difficulty remembering the names of cards.
Jaina versus Valera.
Valera.
Watch your back.
Bluegill Infiltrator stays. Of course, since I'm versing Valera, Bluegill Infiltrator stays only as removal. Removal only. Because it dies too easily to Dagger Mastery. So I'm definitely not going to be charging with the Bluegill Warrior or hitting her with the Worgen Infiltrator. I'm just going to skip that turn. So you've still got the coin. I can't even think of a play that you can do right now that's bad for me. To be completely honest. So, I may want to play Mind Control Tech. No. Just because Mind Control Tech can give me much better stuff. I don't want to make the mistake of holding on to Mind Control Tech for far too long, though. Please, 4-drop. 4-drop minion. I don't get its battle cry. Fuck! Oh, wait, yeah, I do! What? Woo! Oh, I like that. That was the wrong play. I should have used the Fire Blast on the Twilight Drake so that next turn, my Twilight Drake and my Worgen Infiltrator can kill his. That was a misplay on my part.
Your magic shall not save.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And it means that my play last turn wasn't horrible. Okay, so... Spellbreaker, I can deal with you. Bluegill, Fire Blast, done. But I'm having trouble dealing with you.
I wonder.
And I can't reveal anything from stealth unless I'm killing something. So this is unfortunately slow, and it leaves him with board control. But hopefully, I managed to deal with that Twilight Drake somehow. That's the problem. Twilight Drake is just so good in the early game. If you keep a Twilight Drake in your opening hand, you're probably going to get a 4-7 or a 4-6 or even a 4-5. But a 4-5 for 4, that's a Yeti. Uh-oh. Ah! I can clear the board next turn. That's nice. Alright. Let's go with a reset on this whole board thing. He's got more cards than me. We've got a lot of heavy here. But the problem is, as a assassin... As a rogue, sorry, he has Assassinate. No good. What is he going to play this turn? If he plays nothing, that's probably bad for me. Because it tells me that most of the things he has are reactionary. So he's not going to be populating the board. Let's hope that he thinks the Water Elemental is the biggest thing I have and a huge threat, and tries to clear it. Because then I can put out a War Golem and say, aha, tricked you! This is the biggest thing I have! Yes! Up until that point, I'm a little bit screwed. I mean, I have got the tempo back, but... Hey, yeah, so there's the Assassinate. Eviscerate. So that's premium removal already used. But he did pass a turn. Does that mean that the rest of his hand is not premium removal as well?
Attend me.
Ready, sir.
Okay. So, let's see what he does to this before I consider Stormwind Champion. Or War Golem. I'm just trying to bait out his responses, because it's very clear from that past turn that his hand is basically just responses. Of course, the one response I can never account for is War Golem being killed by a big game hunter. So there's mine. I'm ready, I'm not ready. Okay. There's my big game hunter. It is the time for the War Golem to go out, though. Oh shit! I could have gotten extra damage with Fire Blast. That's my bad. Oops. Let's keep track of that. You keep track of it with me. 1 missed damage. Come on, Sir Nistro. I'm a lot of cards behind. I need some of my draw card stuff. I have a Gnomish Inventor and an Arcane Intellect to do that. Arcane Intellect would be the Arcane Dream. Twilight Drake still gets killed by my 7/7. It looks a lot like he doesn't have a way to deal with my 7/7 at its current state. So perhaps he needs my 7/7 to be on lower health, but if he needs my 7/7 to be on lower health... that means my 7/7 is vulnerable to him hitting it plus 1 damage, or an Eviscerate. I can't stop it from being vulnerable to an Eviscerate by playing the Stormwind Champion, but I can stop him from hitting it directly by playing the Mogashan Warden. I've already used my Fireball. I need to keep that in mind. I don't have the option to draw 6 damage out of my deck and then just do it suddenly to win the game. So I've already used my Fireball, I've already used my Mind Control tech, I have my Big Game Hunter in hand. So hopefully, if he's waiting... Oh... I love this video game sometimes, guys. So now, he needs a way to clear my board. Including just the Big Game Hunter. Otherwise he loses. So 3-0 it's looking like. Yep, 3-0. Well played. A lot of that was due to the way that it curved out for me, even though... Oh, and a huge part of it was due to the fact that I copied his optimal play at that time, being the Twilight Drake. That was amazing. There was no expecting that on 4 mana he was going to cast the Twilight Drake for 4/7, and on top of that, that I was going to get it as a 4/7 because I believed that the Battlecry effect didn't account. Like if you copy a Gnomish Inventor, say it's a 2/4 with a Battlecry effect of draw a card. You copy it, you don't draw a card, you don't get that Battlecry effect. But the Battlecry effect for the Twilight Drake seemed to work. That doesn't make sense to me, and I'm pretty certain that that's an inconsistency in kind of the game logic. Mana Worm stays, Mogashan Warden goes. Okay, so how's this recurve? A 1, coin 3 into a 1 Fire Blast. Not horrible, not good, not horrible. Okay, so he's a warrior. Warrior. Pff, no, he's not. He's a hunter. He's a hunter. That means there's a heightened risk that he'll be playing a River Crocolisk, which my Worgen Infiltrator would do nothing against. But my Worgen Infiltrator gets to sit in the shadows until it can do anything, whereas my Mana Worm dies optimally against a lot of cards. So this is correct. And I can get an Acidic Swan Boost for it. Yep, that's a trade I want to make. Then coin out the Imp Master. Yeah. Just because with 3 mana, his removal options are pretty thin, right? His removal options at the moment are Deadly Shot, which costs 3 mana, destroy a random enemy minion, and kill commands, damage an enemy, you know, with 3, or if you have a minion out that's a beast with 5.
I wonder.
Also, I'm not going to be able to play the Imp Master later because, well, I'll be fearing Unleash the Doggies, so I'm not going to be playing wide, I'll be playing tall. Which sucks. I don't have enough cards to play tall. I have a Stormwind Champion, and a war golem. Playing tall, by the way, is having 1 or 2 really big minions. Playing wide is having a lot of 2 or 3 attack minions, right? So it's about having a really tall attack range or a wide attack range, which is a little bit lower. Or rather, substantially lower. Ooh, so I'm really glad that I drew the Bluegill Warrior here. No, I cannot overextend against the doggies. Especially because here, in Arena, he could have 5 doggies in his deck. He could have 5 Unleash the Hounds. Although, Unleash the Hounds, I believe, has been patched as of the recording of this video. Unleash the Hounds has been changed from 2 mana to 3 mana. Oh yes. Now, it was my personal opinion, and the opinion of a lot of other people that I read the opinions of, that wasn't the change that needed to be made. The real thing that needed to be addressed about the Hunter was that Starving Buzzard drew off of that, and you couldn't see what people dropped when they did tracking, stuff like that. And I'm tempted to, strongly agree with that. So, 5. He could Starving Buzzard and Unleash the Hounds. But the thing about Starving Buzzard and Unleash the Hounds is all of those hounds, all those doggies, die up against my Mogushan. That's the only reason I was fine with playing another card. Because the Mogushan kills all of his doggies if they come out to play.
I wonder.
Okay, so we've got only 5, this is what I meant about building wide, right? 5 minions on the board, but I only have 5 damage. Okay, so... that card is an explosive trap. I can tell you that much right now. That card is an explosive trap. So, do I even want my Imp Masters to survive? Because I can make it survive, I can bring it back with the Ancient Brewmaster. I can keep that fucking Imp Master alive. But I don't think I want to. I think it makes the risk of doggies far too high. So I'm gonna say, well played, and then attack into it. Explosive Trap, clear my board, except for my 1 here. And even though he doesn't have a weapon out, I'll play the Acidic Swamp Ooze. I mean, I can counter a weapon, but, I need minions on the board. If you'll excuse me for just 1 second, my keyboard is fucking up and I have to unplug it and plug it back in, otherwise it will change the audio of what you're listening to at the moment. 1 second.
I wonder.
Okay, well, I'm back, but my webcam refuses to acknowledge that because my webcam is plugged into my keyboard, which I had to plug and unplug. So I'll fix the webcam in a second, but for the moment, I'll turn it off.
Squire, attend me.
Clear that, and attack to the face again. Okay, properties... refresh. Whoa! Great, I have to change everything about it again. Shit! You should remember my settings. There we go. Except I look a lot brighter now. Configure. Brightness. Down. There we go. Oh, hang on. There's a lot of problems at the moment with it. Like, my voice is probably lagging in regards to the actual image you're seeing. I'll just turn the webcam off for the moment. I'll fix it in between matches and then I'll cut that area out. How's that by you? Attack, attack, War Golem, and turn. Woohoo! Oh well. It's a little bit unfortunate about the webcam, but hopefully it won't be too distracting. Oh, managed not to clear anything off of my board with that one. That's really unfortunate for him. Oh, and he got the worst one. At the moment, at least. So I can kill that. Well, let's play the Azure Drake draw first. And I'll continue drawing, and the reason I'm doing so is because I do not want to have more than 3 minions on the board at any one time.
To Northrend!
Okay, so Argent Commander clears out my War Golem at this point, I believe. Be pretty daft for him to do anything else, unless he has a way to clear out the War Golem without the Argent Commander. Come on! Come on.
I wonder.
Take your turn! I really want to do the greetings thing, but because I'm in such an advantageous position at this point, I really feel like... Oof. That was a hard hit. I really would have preferred the 4-1, but that's a 33.3 repeater chance. Okie dokie. Mana Worm, Water Elemental, Spell, and then clear out his 4-2. Okay. So, because he has no way of testing what this spell is, at the very least on the board, he has no way of testing what this spell is. Hopefully he plays something large. Wait, so now he knows it's not a counterspell. It could still be Spellbender, it could still be Mirror Entity, it could still be Ice Block, Ice Barrier, or Vaporize. The most likely of those, however, is definitely the Mirror Entity. Especially considering when I played it. So if he does know that, then I'm in a little bit of a world of hurt. It really doesn't look good, this webcam deal.
Give me a quest.
Yeah, no, it's much slower. Oh, so I get a fucking questing adventurer. Oh, yes. Okay.
Shall not pass.
Oh, this is really good. Whew. Love it. No, I do not win this turn. That's a shame. Well, Flame Strike. Buffs 2 of my minions. Freeze him. Now my Fireball can kill him off if I draw that out, otherwise my board is pretty deadly. And of course, on top of that, one Unleash the Hounds against this board, not going to do anything.
What does the future
Well played.
hold?
Yep, so now he knows that's over. Done! We finished it, guys! We did the match! Alright, so for now, I'm just gonna cut this just like a break, so that I can fix the webcam. I'll be back in part 2, actually. It's very likely that this needs to be the cut for part 2. So, enjoy the next video, and I'll see you then.